another exciting chapter.
11:30 2010 Sports Blog. Now, let's start off with MLB news. Derek Jeter is asking for $150 million, $25 million for 6 years, each of the 6 years. That's a lot of money. A lot of sources are saying that he really didn't ask for this, but we'll see. And because of this, the Yankees and Derek Jeter are playing the waiting game. Also in MLB news, I found out that the Rangers, if they lose Cliff Lee, they're going after Andy Pettitte. Hopefully the Yankees can pick up Andy Pettitte and Cliff Lee. On my perspective of the winter meetings for the Yankees right now, about that, the key is right now to keep the core four. Derek Jeter, Andy Pettitte, and Mariano Rivera. And Jorge Posada is still in the Yankees. But keep the core four. That's basically it with MLB. Now on to NBA news.
I'm so serious, man.
Carlos Boozer is practicing again. He had a hand injury in the beginning of preseason, so he's coming back. David Lee's close to returning as well. David Lee had an elbow infection from hitting Wilson Chandler in the mouth in the first Knicks game. So he's coming back after 2 surgeries. Vince Carter finally came back today after an ankle sprain. John Wall sat out against the Heat last night. The Heat are angry with the coach, Eric Spoelstra. LeBron James bumped Eric Spoelstra during a timeout because they lost, if you didn't know that. Michael Jordan responded to LeBron James' Nike commercial. And if you haven't seen it, I'm going to put it up right now.
What should I do? Should I admit that I've made mistakes? Should I remind you that I've done this before? Want to see my shiny new shoes? Should I just sell shoes? Shiny new shoes?
Maybe I should just disappear. Maybe it's my fault. Maybe I led you to believe it was easy when it wasn't. Maybe I made you think my highlights started at the free throw line and not in the gym. Maybe I made you think that every shot I took was a game winner. That my game was built on flash and not fire. Maybe it's my fault that you didn't see that failure gave me strength, that my pain was my motivation. Maybe I led you to believe that basketball was a God-given gift and not something I worked for every single day of my life. Maybe I destroyed the game. Or maybe you're just making excuses.
President Obama was elbowed in the lip and he received 12 stitches. He played a pickup game after Thanksgiving. They said he was trying to work off the Thanksgiving food. So he got elbowed, so he had to receive 12 stitches. And these are last night's games. Washington at Miami. Miami picks up the victory, 105-94. New Orleans at Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City wins in Oklahoma City, 95-89. Houston at Dallas, Battle of Texas, 101-91 Dallas. Milwaukee goes to Utah and picks up the loss, 109-88. Now I'm going to talk about the Knicks at Bobcats game from November 24th. But first, some highlights from NBA.com.
All right, welcome back to Game Time. Knicks and Bobcats. Raymond Felton, home to North Carolina. Mom bought 100 tickets for the game. Danilo Gallinari. Oh, that was for the record, to tie the record for consecutive free throws by a Knick at 44, and he missed it. First free throw.
Oh, he missed that one.
He didn't miss that, though. No.
Ooh,
that was actually Wilson Chandler. That had the one on the inside there. 21 points for him, 8 of 12 from the field, but you shoot a high percentage when you shoot it from down close. Just ask Amari Stoudemire.
That's a man's move right there.
8 of 15 from the field for him. Steven Jackson for 3. We've got ourselves a 3-point game, 64-61. Then, still in the third quarter, G.J. Augustine misses. Raymond Felton on the break. 23 points in this. He is loving Mike D'Antoni's system.
Yeah, he is good in the open floor. He gets out in transition. He's got his confidence and playing with a little bit of swag.
Charlotte trying to stay in this one, down 3. Oh, the easy layup from Tyrus Thomas to DJ Augustine. We got a 1-point game. Thomas, wow, 26 for him, 11 of 20 from the field. New York's lead 1. Diao with the block. And Thomas finishing. He's make the free throw. And guess who's loving it? Yeah.
His airness.
The owner. He's pumped. Charlotte up 1. Amari. Wow. Go to the line, make both free throws. That's the second right there. So New York now 96-95. Steven Jackson drives, blocked by Amari.
Wow, Amari Stoudemire, 6 block shots tonight, and that's what we want out of Amari, and he showed it tonight.
And now, Fields driving and fouled. He'd make the first free throw, missed the second, but look at that. Raymond Felton getting the loose ball. Charlotte forced to foul. Gallinari would make 2 free throws, and somehow the number falls off.
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
I haven't either.
Now, the video doesn't mention that Amari Stoudemire had 20 points. He had 6 blocks. Felton had 13 assists. Steven Jackson had 18 points, and Tyrese Thomas had 11 rebounds from that game. The keys to that game was clutch free throws from the Knicks, great hustle by Raymond Felton and the Knicks, and basically that's it with that game. And before I do the Knicks versus Hawks, there will be a part 2 discussing of this video. There will be a part 2 discussing the Knicks at Pistons game, so look out for that. Now I'm going to talk about Knicks versus Hawks. But first, some highlights from NBA.com.
The New York Knicks have won 5 games in a row to even their record at 8-8 coming into the contest today against the Atlanta Hawks. They're the All-Stars. Joe Johnson and Amari Stoudemire greeting each other before the game. Second quarter action, Raymond Felton finds Stoudemire, who greets the front of the rim with a slam dunk. He was 7 of 15 from the field, but the Hawks up 11 in the second quarter and looking to add to it through Marvin Williams skying along the baseline with the jam. Marvin had 13 points and 8 boards in the game. The Hawks up 18 points at the half, third quarter action, and the Hawks still working well. Josh Smith now in the paint, going to work against Danilo Gallinari. Nice spin move here. He gets the layup. He had 13 points on the afternoon. Hawks up 14. The big news right there, though, Josh Smith and Amari Stoudemire make contact on the way back up the court. Stoudemire goes down hard. He injures his left ankle. He had to leave the game. He would later return. Stoudemire can't be held on the bench on a play like that. Later in that third quarter, Raymond Felton with the steal, racing back up the court, finds Wilson Chandler, who goes for 15 points off the bench. And there you see Stoudemire itching to get back in the game. More third quarter action. It's Stoudemire working a pick and roll with Raymond Felton. This time, Felton just keeps it himself all the way to the hoop. He had 18 points for the Knicks. Knicks down 7 now. Make it 5 inside. Wilson Chandler on an and one. He made the free throw as well. That cuts the lead down to 475-71. Josh Smith, beautiful attempt on this play, but gets called for the foul. Looked very clean on that play, but Smith, that was his 5th foul, so he had to sit down after that play. And later, now fourth quarter, Amari Stoudemire taking advantage of the opening in the middle. Lead down to 7, but the Hawks going to work once again. Jamal Crawford, nice jump shot from the free throw line. 21 points off the bench for Crawford. Hawks go up by 14, and then one more time outside. Jamal Crawford, you gotta guard him out there. Pure as a three-pointer. That extends the lead to 15 points. The Hawks hang on to win it by 9.
The video still doesn't mention that Fields had another double-double, 15 points and 11 rebounds. Mike Bibby had a quiet 14 points. Joe Johnson had a quiet 7 points, but he had 10 rebounds. The keys to that game, Knicks didn't, if you obviously saw the video, they lost. 26.7% from the three, from the behind the arc, I'm sorry. And that was not good. The Knicks were just taking too many threes, and one key was the pace. The pace went into the Hawks' hands, which isn't good. The Hawks are not a running team. They basically take the ball up slow, and Mike D'Antoni's pace is run and gun, which means it's a fast-paced thing, 3 seconds or less, or even 4 seconds or less. So this is it with this video. Check out part 2. Part 2 is going to be about the Knicks at Pistons, and my analysis of that game. So this is the BX Bowler Part 1, signing out.